Hey Bayek, it's me Ian. And in today's video, I'm continuing my look at classic albums, or probably in this case, albums that I think are classic in my CD collection. Now, this is The First Day by David Sylvian and Robert Fripp from 1993. I would say we would call it a prog rock album, but it's got a lot of experimental, art rock, jazz influences very much involved in this. It's 63 minutes and 15 seconds long, so you're getting quite a lot there. But it's a definitely an album for me that just goes by beautifully. It doesn't linger at all. It's just great. I just love it. Now, David Sylvian, you're saying, David Sylvian, that name might be familiar. Yes, David Sylvian was part of Japan. They formed in 1974 and broke up in 1982. And they had quite a bit of success, more in the sort of late 70s, early 80s. And rather, I think, wrongly got put in at some times, and they've said it as well in the new romantic things. No, it wasn't about fashion and all that. It was about the music, as is proved here, and then the albums they produced. Now, in 1991, on the Rain Tree Crow, yes, they were together again. But they weren't called Japan. It was just one of the albums that were recorded. All the musicians came together. That was in 1991, which is fantastic, really. That they came that without all the fuss, which is a good thing. So, David Sylvian then embarked on a solo career, and his first album was in 1986 called Brilliant Trees, and then he just progressed with that, and he was very much into collaborations. And now Robert Fripp, he, I think, initially invited him into King Crimson, which again, as Robert Fripp was always, reforming Crimson at various times, but instead they decided to collaborate together. So this became the first of 3 projects they worked on together, and this is wonderful. It's really such a great album. Now, it was recorded between December 1992 and March 1993, and it was released on the 10th of August 1993. It was recorded at Dreamland Studios, Woodstock, New York, and Kingsway Studios, New Orleans, Louisiana. And the label was on Virgin. And it's produced by David Sylvian and David Bottrill. Now, David Bottrill has quite an interesting lot of artists that he has worked with. I'll just mention a few. There's such a long list, I won't go through them all. But Peter Gabriel, King Crimson, Muse, Silverchair, Placebo, and Rush, Stone Sour. What a great list of bands. That's just a few. There's a lot more, but very, very good producer to have. And say David Sylvian also was involved in the production as well. So let's have a look at the lineup on this. We've got David Sylvian, who does the vocals, guitars, keyboard. Then we've got Robert Fripp playing guitar, and with his Frippatronics, as it was called, which was the tape looping that he uses, which is part very much of the certain sound that he gets. Then we had Trey Gunn, who played the Chapman stick. Now I had no idea what the Chapman stick, but I looked this up, and it's like the guitar. It's part of a guitar. It's the sort of head, the fret part, and you play the strings, and it's an electronic thing. It's another part of the guitar family, you can say. So he plays that and does the vocals. Then you've got Jerry Marotta. He plays the drums and percussion. Then we've got Mark Anderson, who plays the percussion as well. Then we've got, yes, the producer, David Botterill, who does the various treatments, the computer programming. So, in fact, his job is also the engineer as well in this. And then we've got Ingrid Chavez doing the vocals, who at this time I think was in a relationship. In fact, they could even be married, I think, maybe in this, to David Sylvian. So that's the people who are involved. So let me go through a list of the tracks. Now, God's Monkey is a great opener. It just wonderful opening track, and the songs here, definitely some are a lot shorter, and then there's some that are much longer, more instrumental kind of pieces or experimental, the mixture of all that. So anyhow, I've gone off that. God's Monkeys. Now that is written by Botterill, Fripp, Gunn, and Sylvian. And then we've got Gene the Birdman, which is a Sylvian with Fripp and Gunn composition. Then we've got Firepower. Now this is a bit longer. It's a 10-minute one, this one. And that is Sylvian with Fripp and Gunn. Then we've got Brightness Falls, which is a more shorter song, which is Sylvian with Fripp and Gunn. Then we've got 20th Century Dreaming, a shaman's song, and this one is over 11 minutes long. So again, the structure, it's a lot longer. And that is Sylvian with Fripp and Gunn composition. Then we've got Darshan, The Road to Graceland, and that is written by Botterill, Fripp, Gunn, Sylvian, and that is, I think, the longest on the album at over 17 minutes long. And that it's just another brilliant track. And then we've got the last track is Bringing Down the Light, which is a Robert Fripp composition. So you can see that's more of a standard length one. You can see the contrasts in this already in the terms of the songs and that. It's excellent, and also the styles, the musical styles. Now a single was released, and that was Jean the Birdman, which was excellent. And also to accompany this album when it was released. They went on tour, and guess what? They recorded a live album. Yes, there was a live album recorded, which I happen to have. I'll just quickly show you. It's called Damage. This was the live album, and the tracks are all there that they do live. So this was a brilliant project, continuing this album from there. So my impressions of this album are that it is a first-class album in experimental, sort of jazz influenced, but funk as well. You've got a lot of funk. And then you've got the ambience kind of sounds as well. As you see, this is what good prog rock is about. It's got all the mixture of musical influences, and they're all in the structures. Some are more structured songs than others, which have obviously come. A lot of these sort of songs come, I think, have come from improvisation and experimental developments from improvisation, which create the songs, and that it works wonderfully. It's a real wonderful journey listening to this album, seeing all those wonderful music or influences. Of course, you can't help but hear that wonderful Robert Fripp guitar. It just, it's always there. You know that sound. It's Robert Fripp doing what he does best. What a musician! What an influence, as we know, from King Crimson, and David Sylvian's vocals really complement this so well. Some people may have said, "Oh, his vocals are not always strong as they could be," but I don't agree with that. I think the sound that he produces, it works really well with this. You know, I mean, I think that the match is very much, you know, like the voice is part of an instrument as well on these lyrics that he's written. The lyrics often sort of about his spiritual interests and that kind of thing, but it works well. It works well, and I'm really pleased to have this in my collection. And more I've listened to it over the years, the more I've got to love it. And I think that's why I ended up getting the live album as well, because I just wanted to hear what they were like live. So I just fell in love with the album. As simple as that. And I know it won't be everybody's cup of tea, you know, certainly, but I really like it. When you've got good musicians who've got good vision of what they want to produce, then you can't help but love this. You know, I think it's quite relaxing as well. It's that kind of album. You know, you can switch on and off while you're whistling, listening to it. You know, it's great. Absolutely love it. Yeah. So I think that's it. Really, I'll just show you the album that I've got. You've seen that cover, I know, but there's the actual album. And there's the back there with all the track listings. And there's Robert Fripp, as you can see there. And inside, we've got, it's quite a nice of the disc, the orange there and the blue. And there's David Sylvian. There he is. Yeah. Very different from the way it looked in Japan. You might have noticed that. But it has moved on a few. This is, after all, 1993. So Japan finished in 1982. So it's over 10 years, 11 years later. Yeah. But there it is. It's a great album. Absolutely loved it. Yes. So if you're new to the channel, please subscribe, and then we'll let you know when I produce these videos. You can have a look in the playlist and you can see all the things that I've reviewed in music. But music is not the big part of my channel either. I do a lot of film, TV show reviews, and a lot of it is very much nostalgia based as well. And if you like this video, please give it a like, because if you like it, it'll get out onto YouTube, into algorithms and all that stuff, and hopefully more people might enjoy it. If you've got any comments, please put your comments down as well. I always love to hear your comments, and I always reply to them. And that's it, really. So all I've got to say is, I'll see thee again.